music.
Trying to shoot for an album every year.
But how did the boys from Bakersfield, California achieve such global domination?
Davis felt his father had abandoned him as he was always on the road touring as a keyboard player. He was constantly sent to live with different relatives, and he felt as if he'd simply been cast aside. By his own words, Davis said he was constantly picked on in school, mostly for his small frame and the fact he was socially awkward. He was considered to be a nerd and an easy target. He had already learned to play the piano, the violin, upright bass, and clarinet.
On the band's Deuce DVD, Jonathan's bandmates all say they're very proud of him for his sobriety.
So being in that and feeling that in the air, man, it was probably one of the best concerts I'd ever seen, you know.
Production on this tour is something we've never done before. It's just really interactive, like stuff that moves.
They're these giant plexiglass, what they look like mirrors.
The Californian five-piece known as Korn burst onto the hard rock scene in the mid-1990s. Trouncing in their wake the big hair and spandex image of 80s metal, Korn would bring hard rock back to the kids by way of hip-hop culture, in what we now know as nu metal. Even today, after 5 studio albums under their belt, Korn are still pushing the creative envelope, eager to try new sounds and expand their ever-increasing body of musical influences.
There's a little bit of new stuff in there, but we're just trying to really get riff-oriented, where it's just about the music, not so much relying on extra effects and sound and stuff. So it's kind of, you know, we just try our hardest to experiment and come up with new, fresh sounding stuff.
Korn have always cared deeply about their fans, tirelessly reinventing new ways of keeping them informed and supplied with new music.
Trying to shoot for an album every year. Seems like bands stopped doing that. Seems like it takes 5 years between albums, and that just sucks. It gives the fans music to listen to and keeps them interested, I think. So if we can pull it off, we're gonna try.
Above all, their success has come through a deep-rooted passion for what they do and what they stand for.
We're just like, doing our thing, what we want to do and what we love to do. And everybody's just digging on it.
Korn have changed the way music is made and are now considered one of the world's greatest rock bands. But how did the boys from Bakersfield, California achieve such global domination?
Jonathan suffered severe asthma as a kid. When he was 5, he survived an asthma attack so severe he was clinically dead for several minutes before the doctors could bring him back. Afterwards, he was in and out of the hospital for most of his childhood. At age 3, Jonathan's parents divorced and he was taken in by his father and his new wife Lily, which he says was not in his stepmother's interests. She was described by Jonathan as the most evil, fucked up person I've ever met in my life. He says she used to harass him and torture him, giving him tea mixed with Thai hot oil and jalapeno when he was sick, locking him in cabinets, and putting out cigarettes on his arms. The song Kill You was written about her. No names were ever put on record in regards to the sexual abuse Davis experienced as a child. The lead singer has explained the song Daddy is based on his real experience with being assaulted and his parents not believing him. We know the abuser was a close family friend of theirs who did this regularly. He states, "I went to my parents and told them about it, and they thought I was lying and joking around. They never did shit about it. They didn't believe it was happening to their son." He hasn't said much else about it. The song has meant a lot to Jonathan, and he doesn't play it live too often for fear that it will lose its meaning if played too much. And at the end of the track, you can hear him break down in tears. The emotions are very real. Jonathan has said that his earliest musical influences as a child were the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical Jesus Christ Superstar and his favorite band Duran Duran. His taste in music, interest in the arts, the clothes, and the eyeliner he wore in high school were all grounds for his years of being bullied. He'd be subject to verbal abuse by not only the other students, but teachers as well, calling him homophobic names and beating him down just for being different. They even sent me to a gay counselor, Jonathan recalls. Everyone was calling me gay. I tried to be with the guy and it was totally disgusting, but I had to find out because everyone in the fucking world was telling me I was. The tattoo HIV on his upper left arm is a constant reminder of the bullying he endured. The song Faggot was created after this time in his life, giving us a glimpse of life through the singer's eyes as a tormented and confused kid. Jonathan had begun to find comfort from his torments in music, and when he joined Korn in his early 20s, it was both therapeutic and damaging to him. He had already begun turning to alcohol to block out his pain, but being in a rock band brought on additional pressures to act a certain way. He stated, "You see Motley Crue and all the debauchery and alcohol and drugs and think, that's what I have to do to be a rock star. So I started drinking a bottle of Jack and a bottle of Jägermeister a day. I'd drink 30 Jack and Cokes a night, and that's when my mental problems started." He also struggled with a drug problem. "I was an upper kid," he continued. "I'd be spun out, sleep deprived, and hearing shit. You're up for 2 days, go down for 1, and have to do lines to get out of bed again." In the band's first 2 albums, Korn and Life is Peachy, you can hear the effects of his strung-out lifestyle. By the 3rd album, he was trying to quit the speed and relied more on alcohol to do so. All of this mixed with his troubled past would cause the singer a series of panic attacks for 2 years. He explained, "I'd get panic attacks when I woke up and have them all day. I got schizophrenic and paranoid, and I stopped eating because I thought people were poisoning my food." He couldn't even turn to the relief of performing as he usually did. The panic attacks started hitting him on stage, caused by all the people staring at him. Deep bouts of depression and constant fear of his panic attacks had him wishing he didn't wake up in the morning. But when his grandfather died, he made the choice to stop the substance abuse. He claims that he's not used alcohol or drugs since August 22nd, 1998.
Oh man, what fucking year was it? I want to say 95. I was living in Denver and we were watching MTV, which showed music back then, good music, and the video for Clown came on. And I was like, what the I'm, color in your own expletive. But I was blown away, like it was so different and it was so heavy and dark and like brutal in a way that I hadn't heard in a long time, So it really caught me by surprise, and it just so happened that they were opening for Megadeth on that tour and they were playing the Gothic Theater, and I was able to get tickets with some friends of mine and go and see them. And I mean, it was the only thing that I can describe it, because the excitement in the room was so palpable. The only way I can describe it was the same way when I saw Guns N' Roses open for Aerosmith in 88, 87, 88, somewhere in there. And I'd never felt a surge like that.
But they can become an LED screen, they become video screens, anything you want them to be.
This is so insane, next level technology.
It took months of developing with our lighting guy Church and also our front of house guy Marco.
It started actually with a little drawing in my notebook.
We want people to walk into the experience at a Korn show and feel like they're submerged in the artwork of the album.
I wanted it to feel new and different. There's 4 pods over the top of us with video screens and all kinds of lights, and then these big cubes behind us that move in and out. And everything's moving and morphing at the same time, so it gives you this really cool effect.
3 people on lighting, 4 people on video, and we have 32 hands to build all this in 6 hours to get it running, test it, and get ready for a show. This is a very, very strong look to support the band on stage.
we're starting to embrace the 25 years we've been around, and there's kind of like a sense of accomplishment when we play that song.